Okay, it worked that time. Yeah, there we go. It should be.
Aye, sir, it is.
Alright. Sorry about that, YouTube. Anyway.
Hi, YouTube.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you booking?
Grand Bazaar will be an open bazaar. It has been decided. In the name of peace.
Alright. If that's the case, this is what your decision has wrought. By choosing the Grand Bazaar and making it an open bazaar, Eldari technology will begin to spread across Corvanus. The druids will be reminded of their past, and secrets from the stars will become available. These secrets are, but not limited to, advanced medicine, advanced logistics, advanced engineering, advanced infrastructure, and advanced spellography.
Wait, what's the
Cool.
last one?
Spellography.
Holography.
How spells
Alright.
are written.
Alright.
Like
Yeah, we get
Google.
fancy writing. Yeah, on our spells now.
Everything's in cursive.
I knew it. Oh,
I got
it's
used
like,
to
no.
writing in geometrics. Fuck.
No more squares, only squiggles.
Wow.
I can't
Amazing.
breathe.
Alright, cool beans. Alright, so now that you kind of got a taste for how it'll work, that's 4 piece deducted. You're now at 29. What is the next one
Yeah.
you'd like to investigate?
The fudge.
Let's... I think we just go for either the Librarium or the Aqueducts next.
I'm
Kind
okay
of
with
start
either
off
or.
easy. Let's go with the Librarium. Monica? I would like your input on this.
I will always favor knowledge. Aqueducts are important, but it is something that we can build.
We shall go with the Librarium.
Silent Moon Librarium. Oh boy, oh boy. Do I have some decisions for you guys to make in this one?
Not another library.
Yeah.
Ew,
Do you have
books.
something against libraries?
That wasn't Mars.
So the first so the first decision that I have for you guys to make, or for Lord Lightning Rod, is for will the Librarium be open, exclusive, or restricted? What those mean, open means that it is open to anyone to use. And everything that would entail, which will be very similar to how the Grand Bazaar's differences. Exclusive means that it is only open to those with the appropriate education level. So, people that have completed the schooling in which to understand and supplement knowledge with it. Or restricted, which only the highest holders of either office or honor can access the library. Each has their pros and cons, which I'll go over briefly. Having it completely open means that more of the secrets of the stars will be available to those, to just any faction. And eventually it will supplement itself, say the Open Bazaar. Exclusive means that the Librarium will shift Noda to a more academically inclined city, as the exclusivity of the Librarium will attract more and more students seeking that knowledge, which more and more teachers will be made, which means more and more facilities will be asked for to house them, so on and so forth. It essentially shapes it into being an academic city. Restricted, meaning only the highest places of honor or office, means that it becomes a more politically charged city, with a focus on gaining prestige rather than knowledge in order to access the Librarium's. That is your first choice. What would you like to do?
I am leaning towards the last two, exclusive or restricted.
I like
And
the
I could-
exclusive.
Exclusive.
There could be a variant of restricted that would help cement your power, because right now, the dwarves and elves are working for you as the bearer of the rod. But if you have access to the library, perhaps only granted to people who contribute significantly to the society or serve you well, then it puts you in a position where people want to bring and contribute to what you are ruling over.
Yeah,
You can be more or less generous with, you can have it where it's like you had to take out an entire another kingdom to gain this honor, or you can be more generous and, you took out a couple of demons, you have access to the library, and you can flux this as you go. Because right now you have very little backing you outside of the rod, which is a stealable item.
Oh, I don't think anyone can use the power like I do, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is why I was leaning towards more exclusive as well. Oh, sorry, restricted. Monica, you'll be in charge of this at the end of the day. I'd like your opinion.
I too am stuck between restricted and academic. I do feel that a lot of pain would be alleviated through education. But I also understand the need for secrecy.
I'm not even advocating secrecy here. I simply endeavor for stability, I suppose, and if people are competing against each other to mount towards your favor, they're not working against you.
Well, I mean, the obvious problem with that is that you track psychopaths, which,
Yep.
opposite. But there's no choice that is perfect.
This is true.
Of course.
I
and also,
I believe the exclusive was the better approach. We want to educate the people that come in to understand. Just like us, we did not know the ley lines until we were instructed what they were.
And then what did we do when we learned of it? We opened them and then found out that causes additional problems that we can't fix right now.
but it does bring a valid point. Our whole idea is to give more information to people, to make people more aware of how blind we really are to what's out there in the world. It's the
With
information.
information, we can actually prevent such things from occurring, such as unknowingly making things a little worse. But, like sickness, sometimes things have to get a little worse to get better.
I think Moss has convinced me. I think I'm leaning towards a restricted rather than exclusive library.
I think
You mean
Moss was going exclusive rather than restricted.
Exclusive, yeah. Education.
Sorry, the education one. Sorry, yes.
Exclusive is
Yes,
I got it
that's
mixed up.
exclusive.
Apologies, I got
I
it mixed up.
understand.
Yes, that one.
That's not what I said!
Putting words in his mouth now.
I've got your back, Moss, don't worry.
That's a first.
Damn!
No,
Rude.
Moss and I actually agree on a lot. We just
Ew.
are
Don't say
feisty.
it out loud.
More.
Okay, so
Our
we're going with...
relationship is a hate-hate relationship going on. Let's leave it like that. That's
No,
how we
I
advance
respect the-
ourselves.
I respect the hard choices you make. hmm
Seems to be working.
Yeah, I guess so. Because it can't be balanced. Alrighty.
So going with the education one.
So
You see, it's
exclusive?
people like us that'll keep the sycophants away. We'll drive them to madness first.
Exclusive librarian it is.
hmm
Okay, so let's see here. Oh boy. Rubs hands together. Now we're gonna get real. So now that you have chosen exclusive, which takes on a more academic approach, how will you filter your students? While it is a fact that not everyone can earn the right to learn from the librarian due to their own limitations, how you choose to filter those that would seek it is important. Your choice here is you can have it open to any and all that can pass the appropriate academic reviews, or you can have it culturally controlled, or you could have it politically controlled, or you could have it subjugated to power, or what the
Ounce of your blood, please.
So you can choose open to anybody who can pass the test. You can choose culturally exclusive. So like you might say no dwarves. Obviously you wouldn't say that here, but that's... Or you could say people not from a certain continent. You can make it politically charged. You could exert certain factions. And the fourth one is that you would only do it with powerful. Or the weak. You can go both ways on that one.
This is tough.
Is there a way we can have it on review, where you can come here to study to a point, but in order to reach greater access in your education, you require recommendation of character
Yeah, that's the open one.
from someone of note,
That's the first one.
to have a test of character as well to access?
That's an academic review. Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
it's open to anyone. Like, yeah.
This essentially is how you want to shape Noda, and how you want to shape the culture that will come. Each of them have different pros and cons. I'll go through them briefly for you. So, having it open to anyone is definitely the more democratic, modern-esque approach. The problem is that since they're open to review, that means that they are open to interpretation, they're open to bureaucratic manipulation, and ultimately, they are open to softer form. Because those that give out the tests will have natural biases that can... However, open means that it has the highest chance of exploiting the best people possible that come through. But it also has the highest chance to suffer corruption. The second one is cultural exclusivity. So, now, while that the first thing you might think of is that's racist, it's actually more intricate. It isn't that you hate a race or something. That you are controlling who has the knowledge. I'll give you an example of how this could be positive. You might denote that culturally you will exclude those with short lifespans, because you might be able to pose that those that can't live long enough to learn enough, be effective with this information, should not be given access to it, because impartially learned knowledge, misused, has the highest chance of disaster. One could even stipulate that might be the result of the further corruptive forces on us being implemented. That is an example of how you might view that in not an instantaneous, evil-aligned, negative. The next is politically controlled, which means that you think about it in terms of, do you want to keep the knowledge only for Corvanians? You might exclude the other continents from learning here, in order to ensure that the continent is able to stand, so to speak, on its own 2 feet scale, comparatively. You could also make it certain factions, like evil factions, for example. You might say no evil. Because remember, in the open one, it can be bypassed. whereas the politically charged one is a hard declaration. And then number 4 is subjugation to power. Now, this one is probably going to be viewed as the most negative, and I think it's important to state that while it certainly can be negative, I think something to keep in mind about it is it does also give you the opportunity to set the city for its future. I'll give you an example of subjugation to power means that if you only allow the powerful to learn, and this is not just, only rich nobles. No. The parameters of what you consider to be power will be viewed through adventurers' eyes, not through status and stuff like that. What this means levels, basically, not literal nobility and shit like that. Although the other factors do matter, like how much money they have, stuff like that. All that does matter. But I think what it comes down to is that the way you should look at this is, do you want individuals that are powerful to be learning? Or do you want it to be on a wider scale? So the last one essentially focuses down the exclusivity to a laser point of you have an academy, but only like named individuals that have it's kind of like, I guess the best real world example I have is everyone can go to college, but people that go to Harvard and people that go to, like, I don't know,
Stafford, whatever,
the University of Atlanta or some shit like that, right? 2 completely different ball games. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of the way that you're looking at it. You're looking at hierarchy structure. You could also reverse that and only do those that have no prestige at all, seeking to build them from the ground up, which has its own list of pros. All of them, though, will shape the future of Corvinus and Noda.
And do we only get to pick one of these ways, or can we have like a mix? Like if we wanted high status individuals that are just long-lived races.
This one you can mix, except for open. Open is either all in or all not. You either have no parameters or you have parameters.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards having parameters.
Yeah.
And it would be beyond hope that you would grant it to Mytharians, but it should at least be Corvins.
Yeah.
About doing it like that, I would like to point out you would be isolating the people then that are already here.
It doesn't mean that there isn't ways to get administrative bypass and permissions from the lords, which again would feed into the power base, and if they can distinguish themselves to get their accesses.
I don't think limiting it to just Corvanians is the great idea.
I think we
should
do the parameters of like the no evil one, or like say parameter of achieving peace, something like that. Along those
It
lines
was
like that.
objective.
Yeah, it'll
Or
be
are you going
subjective
to
to what we see. So if we see someone as like a faction that is trying to
So you're going to
disable
be
the
cutting
peace,
out anyone associated with the church from previous discussions. You may think that it's obvious to see what evil, but fairness looks different when you're on the other end of it.
Yes, it really does.
When you're the
doesn't
one
it?
getting screwed.
Or tied to a stake.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Been there.
burned alive for something that you have no control over.
Mm-hmm. You think you're making a profound point, but yeah, been there, done that.
They are all factors to consider.
definitely need to sit on this one for a a minute.
I know, right? Isn't that exciting? Look at all the decisions you get to make. Wowie.
Yeah. Wow.
I really do like
And-
the last option, but I also like the ones where it's a
Wow.
parameter where we select only those who are worthy enough, or per se.
Yeah, but I would say power not in a physical sense, in an intellectual sense.
Yes,
So like they gotta have a high level of
education.
education to want to come and study here.
You'd be surprised what can be accomplished with those that have more common knowledge than those who have been buried only in books.
But then also, if we do go with that high level education route, it's not going to help with the whole idea of trying to show everyone how naive we are, or how much we don't know.
True.
Uh,
Believe there was a discussion about what does Nota to represent. Is it peace? How are we to achieve this? Through our actions.
yeah, I guess the idea of what we would want people to learn about is how to actually live in Corvanus now that the ley lines have been restored.
So with this as our main goal, looking at the options, which do you still feel best fits?
That's difficult to say. Everything can fit in a way.
And what
I
does the
think-
rest of you-
So excluding outside people, I don't think is a good idea. I think we should have it open to anyone that wants to come
This-
in.
This continent has enough problems. It should be focused on getting this continent going. The prosperity of Kalktesh, Rhine, whatever faraway places isn't helping here, and this is the more urgent
Well-
issue.
Agreed, but what if
They
people from
thought
those
were the ones
continents?
standing on stones that were laid by Kalkateshians.
Yeah, what if people from those continents want to come here and make a change, but they don't understand how things work around here? They want to come over here to learn, to help make a change to Corvanus. I don't think that's something we should restrict. So I guess we could add that restriction. People that are willing to stay in Corvanus.
Do you want them to forego their homeland to stay here
There's-
to get a better education?
To get a better education and to improve Corvanus.
Are there not education facilities in their continents?
She does have a point there as well. Perhaps we should consult those. That would be having relevant experience to this.
Sure, we can try getting in touch with. Who do you think would be best? Maybe the elves?
I think we give it to anyone who has basic knowledge,
That is
the basic know-hows.
Or how the world works? Or how Corvanus works?
Just it's
get
up
a
to the
representative from
person.
each side.
Go ahead.
My recommendation, should you want it, would be to get the educator, one from each side, the dwarves and the elves. See their input and pose this question to them as a hypothetical. See how they respond. It might help color the right direction. After all, they were here when Nota was established, surely. Or at least operating before we showed up. Their
Yes, but
insight
they were in a
could
world.
prove valuable.
But they were in a world before it was broken by demons. I don't think that their
Yes.
perspective would be useful at their current point.
But if they have the knowledge in this librarian and they understand what Corvinus will be like in the future with the ley lines restored, maybe it'll be fine to
Or
have their opinion.
because they are foreign and their ley lines perhaps operated similarly or differently, that perspective could help us prepare for what we are kind of having to deal with now.
I think we need some further input on this. There is too much variation that we're
Talking
unaware
about
of.
educating the people. That's
Mhm,
part of
mhm.
the reason why we feel it is important to ask these people. Perhaps in the past they didn't. Maybe it was exclusive, very tight-lipped. We don't know unless we talk to them.
Then let's talk to them. Arcadum, can we do that? Get some input from the dwarves and the elves on how they would tackle this spread of knowledge.
He's gone.
No.
You may just have to make a decision yourself. It is only
Ah.
you.
No, he's also in the bathroom.
I did say in the bathroom. Yeah,
I think we
I'm genuinely don't fully know what to do with this one. So
do the parameters of just basic knowledge because anyone that's access to anyone, but obviously
Depends
it's
on
up
how
to
you
that
define it, because that would again possibly cut out the Matherians again.
basic knowledge.
So-
So like,
it would be the Matherians that want to know the truth, right?
yeah,
If they're
and it's up to
ignorant.
that. It's up to that person of how far they go for it.
So then the
You know.
restriction is interest in learning, not basic knowledge.
Willingness
Yeah.
to contribute towards peace and its efforts.
Yep, and to understand the actual truth of Corvinus, or of how the world works, not our understanding from the last 500 years or however long it's been.
Because if we think about it, and I am going to say this as a player, not as my character, we have witnessed what happens when you do hyper restriction. We have witnessed what happens when you rule with fear. And we have witnessed what happens when people have pushed to force understanding instead of achieving true understanding. These are things that I think that all of our characters have witnessed, experienced, and might hold relevant in this decision.
Our
Mhm.
goal wasn't understanding, it was security. And if matters with the demons and such can be addressed, then it's no longer an issue. It's not if the druids aren't the problem, theoretically, and the demons are dealt with, then there's no longer a need for the hunt. That's not the core basis of the faith. Faith is willing to make or pay these moral prices to secure a future in a world where other options aren't effective.
Arcadum, I think we're going in the direction of people that want to, I guess, learn the truth, that don't want to stay ignorant. So, if people from the church want to, stick with their own ways, they're happy to, but they won't have access. But if they
just be open,
do see another way, then they can come for it.
That
Would
be
that-
open.
Would that be open?
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing, I guess we wanted a bit of input from the actual elves and dwarves, from the council, to kind of see what their opinions on how to tackle this
Sure.
was.
What opinion would you like specifically? On which issue?
Do we want? I think more on the ley lines, right? Like how we would tackle the ignorance that we have around magic and demons.
I think the input you're going to be wanting will be how did they conduct themselves during their time when Noda was active and they were awake and functioning as a society? What benefits and drawbacks were witnessed amongst that time? And then we can kind of gauge as to whether or not that would be still relevant to uphold in present day. Also, we can enlighten them as to the current situation, which I believe we have, and we can also utilize their wisdom and experience to be like, would this still be applicable, or should we just be more restrictive? Does that make sense, or am I being vague?
That's fine. No, does
Um,
everybody agree with that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so let's see here. What did they do? The elves and the dwarves, in order to maintain peace between them, had to be sure that everything was equalized between each other. They were the two ruling races of Noda. Each one brought a different level of understanding and a different aspect, their own perspectives to it. When it came to the librarian, and when it came to exclusivity of any kind, they tended to favor a cultural exclusivity of those with short lifespans. They were not considered lesser citizens, but they were considered much like much like how a dog is still an important member of the family, it is not a human. It is a lesser creature. To the elves and to the dwarves, although they would never mistreat their human, their fellow humans and orcs and that, in terms of as citizens, there are certain aspects to citizenry that are unavailable to them due to their short life. So that was the original approach from Noda in order to make peace. Most notably, which the elves will bring up, which the dwarves will bring up more specifically, it's that in order to understand the intricacies of the laws that the elves and the dwarves had made, to their fairness and to how they were implemented, and to their punishment system as well, one needed to have a longer life in order to see the wisdom behind it. Humanity, specifically, due to its short lifespan and fiery spirit, would often rail against the first injustice that they perceived, attempting to change it with all the vim and vigor that, should they have had any legal ability to apply application, may have destroyed what the elves and the dwarves had carefully. Secondarily, they also chose, to that, they cut off any high-ranking members of any of the other factions or continents or countries from gaining access to their librarium, except through political favor. Those were the two indications.
I think I like that second part. Or if people do come from other continents, there needs to be like a high political favor.
A good example of that is no matter how well known and how good somebody is from another country, they can never be president in our own country, right? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger can never be president. It's kind of, and I use that as an example because it represents the law as viewed through without the misunderstanding of its morality. There is a reason that we have that, which at the time was created to make sure that we wouldn't be taken over by anybody from a country, right? During the time of developing as a nation. And which still, I believe, has an actual meaning and reason to be there. That's the kind of laws that would be shaped based off of the librarian. That approach. To the elves and the dwarves, it was the short-lived races cannot ascend to a high level because they don't live long enough to be able to do anything with it, truly understand its will. And more specifically to your secondary point, they cut out other countries and other large faction leaders to ensure that they would not gain advantage over them in the political landscape and the militaristic.
We do it where a short-lived has proven themselves to use useful, and then they have access to they have permission to access this knowledge through like gains and whatnot.
So what you can do, that would be the restricted choice through high honor, right?
Okay.
That would be the restricted choice, not the exclusive choice, because the one that you've chosen beforehand, the exclusive choice, is the indication that they have to go through the bureaucratic approach of passing academic reviews, display their education level in order to gain access to the librarian and to the teachers and to the knowledge in it therein, right? Exceptions can be made, obviously, but whether or not the exceptions are part of the law is the discussion you're having now, right? Like Lurik being the, Lord Lightning Rod, apologize. The Lord Lightning Rod, as the wielder of the Staff of Peace, could just let anybody in that he wants, regardless of any laws made, because his power is monarchaic. But what you're doing is you're setting up a system of laws and government and culture.
Yeah.
So the question is not whether or not you could make an exception, it's whether or not you want it to be culturally acceptable to make exceptions to rules that you make. The elves and the dwarves, they did not make exceptions to rules. Because they're very traditionalist.
Could we do something like we grant access to like the citizens of Noda? If like an outside person wanted access, they would have to become a citizen first before they gain access.
That would be acceptable in terms of political assimilation. Required assimilation is a politically controlled.
Yeah, that or like somebody that has a recommendation from a well-known place in Corvanus. Like if someone in the higher-ups of the Church of Matheria or something provides a letter of introduction or something for them,
once again,
we can take that into consideration to give that. So we'll kind of put those.
Once again, this isn't what you're going to consider. This is the future of you're not there anymore. So what do people do?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that is kind of... Yeah. I think I like the assimilation part, if everyone's fine with that. And then also like some other way for people to get access that's not assimilation. So that would have to be like a recommendation from a trusted area.
A trusted source.
Like a trusted source, yeah. Even if it's a foreign country, like let's say a king of a foreign land has signed something, hey, I've sent this person to go and study here, then we can, have them take the exam to see if they pass the qualifications to study. I'm trying to think of it in more simple terms for myself.
I think forcing assimilation in order to politically control your academia is a fine choice. As per how you have presented it.
Yeah.
We have that in America.
Yeah.
To get full access, you have to become a citizen.
Most
countries have that, actually. So assimilation is not a... It's a pretty common one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Basically plead an oath that you won't use it against Noda and whatnot, etc.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Integrate yourself, become trustworthy, and we can give you access. Okay, so I think that restriction is set.
So,
and then I don't know how to word the second one.
Exclusive, you want cultural restriction, citizen assimilation. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what's the other one you wanted?
Like a special exception to that.
So that would be a subjugation to power. That would be a power restriction. So only the highest levels of other countries and stuff can be granted special access.
Yes, that's
or have
I guess
the ability to grant their access to somebody else, which also
to somebody else.
Yeah. Which is in your example what happened. The king gave his power of exception to somebody else to go study for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to everyone? I think that's the best compromise.
Yeah, that's doable. If we're looking at the other content that's coming here, I guess that
Yeah.
same works with the like a king grants a noble here, and that allows us to. All right, you can study here, I guess. Same way.
Yeah, exactly. Like an envoy for like, they're searching for something very specific and the information might be here. We can
Yeah.
give them specific access for that.
Yeah, that'll work.
Alright.
That sounds like a good plan.
What I have is Silent Loom Librarian is exclusive for an academic culture that requires citizen assimilation in order to attend, and has a power restriction that allows exceptionalism only to the most powerful representatives of other entities.
Yes. And maybe, I don't know if this is like too specific, but if we can add like into that power restriction certain individuals that we give access to. Like, if Axel's traveling around the world and
that goes back to the whole thing of you are the wielder of the staff of peace.
okay,
You can just
sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, somebody sure that I know.
Yeah, it's like if one of us wants to do it, you just say, "Sure, go ahead."
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds good.
I think that covers everything. Yeah.
All right.
Monica, Dawn. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Let's see here. Now we've got that. Type up the results of that. Type it up real quick.
The city's gonna last.
I hope so. That was a difficult one to come to a conclusion on.
Yeah, you get into a lot of political stuff, and it's always like, yes, we want to be empowered, but we don't want to give up too much. That's a tug of war game at that
You
point.
mean like real life?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
really,
I'm
it's
playing
really
a
cool.
video game.
One of my favorite things to do, is to especially at the end of their like story arc, players actually get the power that they had like fought against or fought for, whichever you want to look at it, and seeing what they do with it. Man, it's super interesting. Like, it's so cool to watch it happen. Pretty good.
Glad you like to watch us suffer.
It's not meant to be suffering. It's what,
It's
like,
enjoyable.
Everybody's like, "Oh, I do this. All right, what do you do?" And it's like, suddenly the weight of your decisions begin to weigh. You get to feel it. And it's about as close as I could ever get to putting somebody in actual power and have them actually go through it. Right? They're like,
Right.
where everybody's actually safe and stuff. One of those things.
Void, were you about to say something?
No, this time.
Okay.
I'm also trying to subtly make this quesadilla. No one will notice. This is perfectly fine.
Very sneaky.
Some of that over here. Grabby hands. Thank you for your input, but my mouth requires. Big munchins.
Cauliflower. It's like a tortilla, but they did cauliflower instead. It's flexible. Funnily enough, I thought it would, get all brittle and break up.
Yeah. 'Tis a common struggle with substitute tortillas. Only the
just wondered
flour
if
ones
there's,
are the really stretchy, flexible ones that burrito roll easily.
Yes, sadly. Those are the ones I could unapologetically throw in a halfling portion of food and then.
Yeah. Just squish it all in.
Are the Nazis
Burrito.
long-lived? And
Yes,
Firm?
as I checked anyway.
They live about as long as half of.
oh, okay. How long is that?
About 200 years. 200, 300
Just,
Oh, damn! I could be old as
just
hell.
gently covers my other character's ear. Shh. She doesn't need to know how old.
Okay, so here we go. Silent Loom Librarian is an exclusive academic culture which has the restriction of required citizen assimilation, with exceptionalism given to the most powerful representatives of other entities. The increases to the following are immigration, population, and diplomacy, and the decreases to the following of stability, identity, and... Okay, locked in.
Cool.
What would you like to do next?
Ah, fuck, we got more to do.
Yes.
Circle of peace.
Your
We
piece
gotta
is
get
now
out of
at 25.
Let's get a big one out of the way. The Circle of Peace.
Circle of Peace. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, upon activating the Circle of Peace, you have a lot of options for you. Most notably, you have a circle, a druidic circle, in the literal sense, that gives you a direct access point to the ley lines. It gives you minute and finesse control of the energies of Noda, and also the ability to influence the energies of other places around you. As it is the Circle of Peace, this has been filtered temperamentation. You literally have the ability to exude peace into areas that you wish. This is used to taper off from dissent, rebellion, warmongering, things like that. It is both a magical tool and a diplomatic weapon.
Cool.
You have a peace gun.
Come on.
I know that sounds, like an oxymoron,
Pretty
but
handy.
that's really what it is.
American as fuck, that's what it is.
Look, man. Speak softly, but carry
Look,
a big
man.
stick.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if anyone, gets out of line, we just shoot him with this peace gun.
So how it's used...
Alright, so what's next?
So
Oh.
how it's used in this regard, it's... You have the ability to activate it, and doing so means that you can taper a people. It's a temporary effect. It doesn't last that long. But what it can do is you could use it before your diplomatic representatives arrive. You could do it as an enemy would try to attack you, which would dissuade them from doing so, slow them, make them second guess themselves. Lots of things like that. It has a myriad of uses. Here's the thing. I'm going to separate these into two pieces. There is the weapon, and there is the engine. The weapon is how you would use the peace it exudes on other entities to enforce your own will and stability and presence, right? And then finally, the engine, which is you directly controlling the ley lines and how they would use to not only control it for yourselves, but also assist the druids by restoring their circles. We'll put that aside. The first choice is the weapon. The weapon doesn't really change. Whether or not you use it is also irrelevant, because the fact that you have it is sufficient. But there is one choice that you get to make. And that is that if you make enough of the other areas of Noda open, that can lead to them learning about the weapon. You see what I mean? This weapon is only
okay.
useful. This weapon's true use is that it is secret. They do not actually know that you have it. So when you would use it, they don't know that you're using it. But the more open you are, the higher the chance that it could be learned about. And once it's learned about, then it will be treated as an actual weapon, not as a kind of
Influence.
an influencing sort of soft power. It'll be treated as the threat that it actually is. This is one of the secrets.
Sure.
This is one of the secrets to Noda's ability to maintain its military without actively attacking or manning their borders and essentially using shows of force so that people will not attempt to attack them. There's the
I
first
still
bit.
want.
So that's not really a
Fulgrim.
choice that you make right now. That is a choice that is made over time. Because depending on
Yeah.
the other aspects, the more open you are, the more of an effect it'll have the knowledge of that weapon.
Sure. Fulgrim, keep your mouth quiet on this one, yeah?
Yeah, Fulgrim.
Need to be careful. Nope, he's not here.
He's not even here. I guess he can't say anything.
He's doing real well at keeping quiet.
He just unmuted his mic. I heard all his background noise. I heard nothing he said. Classic Fulgrim. Alright, so now it's
All right.
engine time. So for the engine, there's a lot of decisions here that you guys can make. Oh boy. You can manipulate the ley lines around Noda and to a certain degree. You can reenact the druids. You can attempt to filter out the latent energy in the air above. There's a lot to do. So, the first thing we should discuss. Do you want to aid the druids?
Yes. If we're talking about Lyric personally, yes.
I'm speaking to Lord Lightning Rod.
Lord Lightning Rod. Can I do it with caution? But he would like to alter. Oh, we're talking about long term as well. Still,
Yeah,
right?
let me explain in a little bit more detail.
Mhm.
You can use the circle to activate the other druidic circles, which will,
Mhm.
or not just activate them, but also adjust them, correct them, help them. Right? That's what, because this circle is a major one, which can affect a lot of different things.
And-
Doing so means that the other ley lines will be able to be recorrected, the other circles will be corrected, and that the druid's source of power will begin to change dramatically.
Yes. My answer is yes.
So be it. I have to. Yeah.
Because yeah, if somebody he did open all the ley lines, and if someone needs to control it, has to be the druids.
Mein Gott. Okay. Next from the engine, as you've chosen to restore the druids. As you have restored the Circle of Peace, the readings of its on its arcane symbology and the information that it provides reveals to you that nature is completely out of sync. The level of mana that is in the sky through the form of silver salt is slowly irradiating the continent. As of right now, those that once suffered under the presence of the ley lines of them being somewhat closed, now open, no longer explode, but the latent silver salt in the air is slowly being charged by the released ley lines. Eventually, it will irradiate the continent, causing mutation, causing, well, just nothing good, right?
Mhm.
So, you can use the Circle of Peace to reallocate the silver salt into other functionality.
Okay.
How you reallocate it will greatly determine Corvanus' future. I have a few options for you. Alrighty?
Mhm.
The first is to disperse the silver salt, which means blow it away from Corvanus. So,
Somebody else's problem now.
doing so will irradiate the surrounding oceans. It will blast it into the sky, like far beyond Corvanus, and may cause fallout in other continents. This option completely removes it from Corvanus.
Mhm.
Alright, second option. Refocus the silver salt back into the ley lines. This process will take time, and the weapon use of your Circle of Peace will be deactivated, as it will be unable to be used. Doing so, however, will take all of the silver salt back into the ley lines, allowing the souls within the salt to be released back into the life stream. That means spirits return to their rest. That means magic that interacts with them will work properly now. That means some individuals can be resurrected, like traveler souls that would normally be denied. And it brings balance to the prism on.
Okay.
That's number 2. Number 3. Leans in, rubs hands together. You can instead focus this silver salt onto a singular region. Doing so destroys that region. It will no longer be a problem for anyone else on Corvana.
Do I finally take my revenge on the Broken Oaks?
Yeah, go for it.
To all the people that made fun of me.
That's peace, alright.
Peace of mind is valuable.
Okay. So I get a massive cannon as one of the options. Okay.
Think about the troubles of your country.
Okay. And you have one more option, option number 4, in case you don't want to blow stuff up. You can take the silver salt, and you can instead choose to revitalize it, putting it to work for the city of Noda, bringing it into your city, and using it to expound. This would be a decidable evil action, but you could give Noda more peace.
Come on, hear me out now. You don't have to do it.
Power
I'll
AC
deal with
off of the
it.
souls of the dead.
I'll deal with the aftermath of it.
I'll do it and blame it on
Are you going
Moss.
to be dealing with the aftermath of you becoming beast? Because that would be tragic.
I am leaning between putting it back into the ley lines or using it for Noda.
Wow, same here. Mostly for the Noda part. Yeah, same here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
They're ready-
the demon waste sounds.
They're
neat,
already
but
in that
the
state
other
of a
options are good.
battery. If we're just gonna toss them out, let's just use them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess using the cannon on the demon waste is one thing. But like, we don't
Very
really know.
Nefarian of you.
Yeah,
approve.
that's definitely Womatherian. Because there are like non-demons in the demon waste, right?
Orcs and dwarves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think that's what I'm gonna be going for.
This weapon is not precise. It will destroy everything.
Deleted.
Orcs, no more.
Axel, you are a halfling now. officially.
What if the goblins are there?
Oh, true. I don't know. Looks at Leslie.
Leslie is currently writing in her journal. Dear diary, today I thought I saw Axel's bulge. But it was in fact a sword in his pocket. I wish my da would stop staring at me while I write in you.
Leslie, this is why are you letting me look at this? This is very personal.
She closes the journal. You wanted to see.
Oh, shit.
So the evil act will be against the party or the individual with the rod.
Would my name be Lady Leslie Rod? Or would it be Lady Lightning Leslie?
Laura can blame Thorn and Moss for this choice. Let's go in.
I'll do it. I'm gonna fuck.
I am being influenced by my party and being convinced heavily by Thorn and
I
Moss.
would
To
heavily
do what, Ulrich?
recommend to not
Let's use them as batteries.
something evil. Would you
But
like
then,
me to use you as battery, perhaps?
That's fine.
but it's just silver salt, right? What's wrong with using silver salt to power up Netta?
Alright.
Do we know that it's like people?
Yes. Yes.
Oh fuck.
You have it. Yes. You
do we?
have. Yes.
Hard
That
glare.
Where to
is-
get that knowledge?
Yes.
Because that wasn't...
The Circle of Peace reveals that to you.
Okay.
That silver salt is the latent energy of the fallen.
Uh-huh.
That's why it is a inescapable evil act if you use it. One of the lines in the sand that I drew, for those of you that don't know, when it comes to alignment, is that every single piece of things that you could do could be subjective in some way as to what alignment that it is. However, there are true alignment acts that no matter what the circumstance, will always cause a shift in that direction. The destruction of souls so that they may not reach the ley line, or excuse me, that they may not reach the life stream, is always an evil act, period. So, using the silver salt to create peace to a greater extent on Corvanus is an evil act, because it requires the destruction of souls to...
Lurik, the strength of Corvanus is in its people, in that we give our hearts and flesh to each other in life, and everything else in death. That we make in our sacrifice in the wake of Our Lady a better future for others.
Look, there's two less of the evil. You put in the ley lines, then we have to deal with the consequence of not having our peace gun. We used it, we still have our peace gun, and if things go out of haywire, just use the peace gun.
So simple when you put it that way. But
Are you not
You know,
supposed to be a beacon of
we-
peace?
we will get the peace gun back eventually if we do put them into the ley lines.
The hell are you talking about with a gun? You mean
Our-
crossbow?
Our peace, what you call it?
Our other weapon side
Peace
of the
weapon.
circle of peace.
Yes. However we would describe that in character.
No. Look, I'm trying to slip in some RP here.
Well, shit. What would Lyric do? Would he, like, he's not inherently against, using people's lives, especially if they're dead, for, like, powering up Noda for the, like, because, I guess it's not,
Well, it's
he thinks he
using
can
their-
do extreme good about it. Or good with it, sorry.
Mhm.
So that's like the only reason he's considering it, because he's like with the souls of the fallen, he can pave like a better future for Corvanus.
Mhm.
Yes, with their sacrifice, peace can be achieved.
Yeah, and returning the dead back to life. I guess he has seen it through some of the elixirs, but it's not something that will be readily available. Yeah. I guess,
Once the body
Arcadum,
is
what actually...
healed, it's wrong to bring someone back.
Yeah, what actually, I guess, happens to the people if we return them to the live stream or, like, use their energy? One of them is, like, deleting them completely. Whereas the other one is, like, they have potential to come back.
To come back or reincarnate or become something new.
To reincarnate, okay.
Yeah. Basically, are you breaking the circle of life for short-term game? Where are you
Oh,
Yes.
fuck.
continuing the propagation?
Break the rules so we can achieve peace.
I will tell you, the prime evil here is preventing a soul from re-entering the light.
Mhm.
Which is what that option does. Which is why it is a prime evil.
Look, you give me the rod, I'll do it. I won't hesitate.
You guys remember the Dark Knight where the prisoner tells that guy, give it to me, I'll blow him up. Then throws it out the window, dude? That's the scene I think we're having right now.
Yep. Except
This
that one
is-
isn't gonna throw it out the window. That one would activate the button.
So, like, I think Lyric, if it was his own decision, he would not do that. He would return him to the live stream. But it seems like Moss and Thorn are heavily trying to influence him to do so. Like, in character, is that what you guys would be doing? Because he'll
Yeah.
definitely be having this
In
discussion with
character.
you guys.
But in the end, it would be
Okay.
your choice, and it could show strength of your character if you make the decision regardless, or it could show the swathes of evil in the root of Noda's decision making. It's the
Yeah,
roleplay works either way.
and Monica's trying to, like, you know, argue against that as well, right?
Oh, I'm looking
Like,
at
saying
you
that...
dead straight in the eyes, being like, if you need me to shut them up, I will be happy to.
Should we leave these to some rolls? Should we do some rolling for this? Some persuasion checks, or...
If you
That is
wish.
entirely on you.
So,
Do you
I feel
want us
like...
to roll against you, or
outside-
do you want us to, or do you want to see degrees of success, I suppose?
So yeah, out of character, I'm actually don't mind either option.
Mhm.
If anything, out of character, I'm leaning more towards, you know, using their souls for Noda. But like in character, Lyric would be heavily influenced, like heavily, you know, for the, you know, return into the live stream, do the right thing. But he's like always listened to the party, and he's like taking everyone's input, so he could be convinced to go otherwise.
Okay.
Well,
So I think
ready
maybe
to roll,
doing
Moss?
rolls for that
Sure.
might be...
Grim hasn't said anything, and Axel hasn't said anything. So if you want to do the whole party listening stuff, perhaps you should harass them.
Sure. Fulgrim, do you have
Fulgrim?
any input?
Drop the gun.
Yes.
Okay, to which specific thing do you... or were you talking just to Fulgrim? Sorry, I thought I heard you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sorry. Yeah, I was asking Fulgrim for his input before we did this.
Said drop the gun, I think. Sorry.
Yeah.
Drop the gun?
What does that
So,
Eat it.
our
what does
hours.
that mean?
Kill the
Peace doesn't
region.
need a gun.
Blow them up. I think that's what he said.
I see.
No. I
No,
just say
okay, sorry.
we don't need a gun to keep the peace. We can find a better way. Let's help
So
the
return-
place. Help the people. of
So
the
return him
lands.
to the live stream.
Yes.
After all, isn't the greatest asset of this country its people?
We're using
It's not
dead
an
people.
asset if you don't use it.
They're dead. They're not useful.
So it's kind of 2 versus 2 if we're excluding Lyric. I guess we don't
So,
really have
What do you think?
Axel here.
Or it could be 2v2 and we say that Axel and Lyric, I guess, increase the DC for Moss and I to sway you. Since I'm pretty sure Axel would
Yeah.
be keen on this.
I'll be Axel will go for the live stream.
There's
So,
no way
I think
Axel,
Axel
there's
would
no
go
way
as
Axel
well.
would go for the evil option.
Yes.
In my judgment, I think of what Axel would do, I think he would 100% be with returning them.
Yeah.
Plus he's connected
And
with
could
the
be a-
souls already, so
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
literally heard them scream in his ear, so I
So
don't.
it's a 4v2 to justify if you do not want to. I'm fine with rolling if you want to give it a shot, but
I think 4v2 might be too big of an odds. Like, it's majority, right? More than, yeah.
Yeah, majority always wins.
Yeah.
I think we're returning
I really
back to
don't
the
care.
live
I
stream.
just want to do an evil act.
out of character, it's whatever. I'm just trying to be in character to Thorn and her beliefs.
course.
That, like, if she found out, theoretically, that she already knows about the Crucible of Souls, whatever, eating the souls of the dead, and is, on board with that because it keeps the city going, or kept it, past tense.
Alright, we're returning to the live stream.
Okay. Turning them to the live stream.
Oh
boy.
Good field, people. I was this close to achieving my.
Bonk, bonk, bonk. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Bonk,
like
bonk,
there are some
bonk.
things like the library stuff I'm not certain where Axel would stand on, but I can't see Axel going for the evil option.
Yeah, agreed.
Axel literally murdered a guy and said, "Tell me your secrets," and he said, "Fuck off." Well, I don't.
That was a one-off.
I guess that would be
It-
the one
was a
excuse
one-off.
that Axel would have is like, fuck them dead. They don't tell me shit. But
Which
I don't
one is
care.
Alonzo? He dies.
If it was incredibly petty, he might do it, but alignment-wise, I don't think he would. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Axel's too good.
Yeah.
You're a good guy.
You a bitch, Axel. You know what? Kill that guy. Like, but we'd have to
The
kill
one
all
guy I
that
didn't
guy.
persuade.
I'm petty good. That's my alignment. Oh, what the fuck? Window for the.
Let's see.
Just thought you should know, boss. There you go.
There.
Wait,
Mhm.
is this our third thing or?
Oh my.
Good God!
Give me a second.
Super
I mean,
Yeah, we
it's
kinda
pretty
have a lot
potent
to
stuff.
do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there way too many rewards and cool things you get to do?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
No.
Too much, take it away.
too much. I don't like this cutscene. It's too long. Oh my god.
Can we change our peace into violence? Always violence.
Just 1 point of
My
violence,
hand.
please.
Just a little bit of violence. Please. Please, a little bit of violence.
Yes. We'll trade 10 points apiece for 1 point of violence.
Yeah, this is like the same moment where I'm just like, so you guys want to watch me fight with my own NPCs together? Yes.
Yes.
You want to see me bang my bionicles together? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. God, that's so funny. And he's like, that was the best session ever. Okay.
Sometimes people just want a little low pressure stream.
I always want to be stressed.
Okay, sorry. I'm Okay. So, sweet Jeebus. Returning the Silver Salt to the live stream does a lot. A bit of writing, actually. But I think the immediate things that happen is the undead at the Wayward Tower. Many of them, spurred on by the rage of the loss of their lives and enraged by the necromantic energies that spread through them, dissipate as the silver salt is lifted from them and returned to the life stream. The silver salt in the air that powers the otherwise insidious silver salt-based monstrosities that erupted out of the spires have now had their energy stripped from them. The disaster of the impending irradiated surface has faded. And that which should be, and has been returned.
Yay, we're good.
Alrighty.
Da, 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 da.
Beat Fields and Fire's boss for them.
We're that good, guys. We defeat those spiders.
Man, that sounds pretty meta. Isn't it just a good thing that we did something nice to the continent? Thumbs up.
Wait, I
No,
thought we did.
I wanted to
Yes,
take souls and use it as ours.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It makes it that much more inconvenient for me to get the handful of silver salt I need. Tragic.
You don't need
It'll be a new.
How much is the going rate for a measure of silver salt, Moss?
I don't know, like 10 gold per stock.
That's what we should do. We should just buy a shit ton now and start selling out now because we know it's all gonna go. Insider trading.
You're not gonna beat
Sell
my
it
grandfather
for
on
10
this.
times the price! Profit! Sorry.
Alright.
Sorry.
Damn.
And that's pretty generous before and after the salt, the
Okay.
silver salt disappears.
So our next one is.
Well, this doesn't destroy all silver salt. This just removes the huge amount of it that was exploded into the air.
Oh yeah, it just
Yeah.
makes it or it's less convenient that it's not being delivered straight to me, you see.
Yes,
Oh.
you will. It's not Ubered to you anymore.
Oh god.
Sadness.
It's like Alaskan gold rush.
Okay. Well, that's a huge thing. So, to be clear, the effects of restoring the weapon is also disabled.
That's fine.
Alright, so the engine of the Circle of Peace being activated again means that the Druidic circles become corrected. The Druidic power that gave them their source of strength has been restored, and this will affect all Druids on Corvanus, which I'll have fun updating the Druids on that as it occurs. The ley lines being refocused, allowing the souls of the Silver Salt to be redirected into the light stream, will heavily weaken all undead enemies, perhaps even putting most of them to rest. Silverborn creatures be depowered and deassembled. And then finally, the tortured souls that were otherwise trapped in the various experiments of Tyr have been released from their imprisonment. Whatever fate awaits them.
Huh.
Good stuff, guys.
We did it.
Alright, you have 20 piece remaining. What would you like to do next?
You guys want to do the towers thing?
I think we leave the
Mining
towers long.
Okay. What about
Personally.
any ved? Star ved or sun ved?
We could do both the Starveld and the Sunveld back to back.
Alright.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to start with?
Who do we like better, the elves or the dwarves?
Ah!
Dwarves.
I don't know.
The elves are sus AF.
Dwarves it is. We're doing the Sunveld.
I mean,
Oh,
you did
God.
notice how they conveniently never mentioned why they went to sleep or why they woke up when they did.
Thought they
can't
woke
be
up because the
trusted.
peace staff was made.
Oh
That
god, we
didn't-
gotta talk to
that
Astaroth.
didn't sleep rest.
Oh
Guys,
boy!
look! We get to learn about gods!
Sunveld time. Oh god.
Oh yes.
This causes for a song shift.
Uh-oh.
Yay!
Oh yes.
Are we rocking to some diggy diggy hole?
I'm gonna turn Arcadum down.
God damn it.
He's super loud when he speaks in voice.
Oh, I am? I'm sorry.
No,
We
just
get to-
it's all good.
He's messing with you. It's okay.
I won't turn you down like 10%.
Right, here
I
we
love
go.
hearing Arcadum talk.
Okay. The silence of lioness. Oh, man. Okay. Activating the Sunveld means reenact the Dark Sun. Its energies begin to emanate outward throughout Noda. The dwarves swell their chests with pride as they see the sun, essentially, return to Noda's underground day and night cycle. As the sun shines down, you feel the same warmth that you feel that you would have if you were outside on the surface. The sun here is darker, not so bright as to blind. It almost always looks like it's at sunrise or sunset. And from that, you got some decisions to make.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Yes, I will become a dwarf.
Excellent.
Is there a dwarf pool?
What the
Yo.
fuck? Okay.
Dwarf.
You can't be
dwarf.
destabilizing the highest positions of the city so soon,
Can I-
Lyric.
Can you be a hybrid of both dwarf and elf?
Yes,
Yes.
an accursed dwarf
The dwell.
made from a halfling.
I will be a dwarf.
That makes
You are
sense.
the supreme
mean-
race.
If you go by how they
Called a
look,
halfling.
I suppose
Yeah.
you could say it's just a halfling. You see the ears, you see the height.
Mhm.
We've done it.
I am already both.
I am both.
He's got pointy ears and muscular as fuck. Muscular as hell.
Alright. Here we go. The power of Astaroth returns to the city of Noda, and finally is able to fully manifest itself within the might of Corvanus. You can feel all of the dwarves around you become emboldened, strengthened by the presence of Astaroth. You can feel heat of the forge. You can hear the ringing of the hammer. Dark sun has arrived. However, as the wielder of the Staff of Peace, and to Astaroth's lawful nature, it is to you, Lord Lightning Rod, that may decide what aspect of Astaroth becomes the purview of Noda, and indeed, the future of Corvanus. Astaroth is comprised of 4 different pieces. 4 aspects. They are as follows. I'll put them in your notes.
Ooh.
The Earth Lord, the Iron Fist, the Atlas, or the Dark Sun.
I like the first one.
Yeah.
Ew.
So I'll
I
go
think-
over what each of those mean, what effects
yeah.
that they can have, and ultimately what they might do. The Earth Lord is focused upon Astaroth's natural propensity towards the deep roots of the earth, the mountains, and the things that live there. It is strength through plenty. Strength through being well fed and having a home worth defending. Strong roots make for boughs that do not break against the hailing of the wind. If you choose the aspect of the Earth Lord, the riches, prosperity, and indeed, the population of Noda will increase dramatically.
Ooh.
So you could look at this as strength of home, I guess, if that really helps. Well-fed soldiers with a home worth defending are terrifying indeed.
Yep. Yep.
Next is the Iron Fist. The Iron Fist leans more so into Astaroth's propensity of his more brutal parts of his alignment. The Iron Fist is focused upon strength through arms, through the sword and the shield and the spear and the axe, to overwhelm one's opponents with pure, unbridled ferocity. actual strength is the only strength worth noting. So this is strength of arms. If utilized in the city of Noda, the city of Noda will be known as the City of Peace because no other nation, entity, or faction would dare face them in warfare.
Ooh.
Damn.
I play the
You like that one too?
Hell yeah.
It's actually Lurik when he blows up.
That, of course, is the American arm. And then next is the other aspect of Astaroth, the Atlas. Astaroth is known for many of his different, more straightforward aspects, but the Atlas is one that many do not know, as he is the protector, guardian, and explorer of the Great the Underworld, trademark. Whoops, almost got us sued there. The Underworld deep beneath the earth of Verum, and also the Astral Dark beneath. The Atlas represents the more outward-thinking aspect of Astaroth's divinity and proclivity towards exploration. Strength through expansion. That your might is sizable through thy sight. Now, what that means actually for the city of Noda is that the city of Noda will gain access to the Astral Dark, it'll gain access to the ancient tramways, and may even have access to a way to bypass the need for the Week of Peace, the secret spaces therein.
Oh.
Huh?
That is a very big, advantage.
Yeah, that's huge.
I don't fully understand, but that sounds sick.
Oh, wait.
So normally, you are only ever able to cross the oceans from continent to continent during the Week of Peace, which is where the great Leviathans fall to slumber.
Yep.
But the Astral Dark, the areas where perhaps the great Leviathans do not see, if they were completed, may give access to trade and travel as an access to year-round.
I understand now.
And we control it. Imagine that.
It's quite potent.
That's kind of cool.
That is the Atlas. And then finally, there is the Dark Sun. The shining light to the dwarves in the depths. A simple strength that, though it is simple, it is perhaps the mightiest of all. The strength of courage. To stand against one's darkness, to conquer it. To stand against the darkness of the realms and conquer it. Faith in yourself, first and foremost. And the faith, those that you call friend, kith. The Dark Sun will, if chosen, will continue the path that it currently has, which has allowed the peace with the elves.
Oh.
Oh, that's the one they picked originally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I do like the last three. So.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
All of them are good though, but
like, I was for the Earth Lord, but it's just like looking at all the other ones, it's just like the options are good. Like the Dark Sun does help us keep the peace. The Atlas, though.
Actually, I think the Earth Lord would be good because it synergizes with our approach towards the library. In centering Noda as a place that is beloved by its people, that is built on that sentiment and is built safe because of it, of people's loyalty to Noda as defining this as their home.
good point.
Which will be a key element that the Mytharians will be missing with their city gone.
What do you
I
guys
really
think?
I really like the Atlas just because it's, like, not known. It is very... Like, this is another advantage now that we have through Noda.
Mhm.
Like, yes, the Earth Lord will bring prosperity and it'll bring, more people to Noda. But with the idea of, if you want to learn the library, if you want to be the secrets there with the bazaar, having a path for, like, go into other continents, they will come here
There are-
anyway. So that's another way we can boost
There
our
are dangers
population.
in the dark. Be careful opening that door.
We'll be ready.
Yeah, we'll deal with it when it comes.
If we need to flee Corvanas, we can just go through there.
Secret
Excuse me?
tunnel.
A what? A what?
We're going to grab him by the scruff of that.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
Corvanas
would not
is
be
our
fleeing.
home.
If
Rub
you
shoulders.
touch him
Mhm.
like that one more time, you're going to get a lot shorter really quickly.
Fight.
Good lord, down.
There's a lot of violence
Put him
in
down.
the middle of this peace aura. Yeah.
Come on. It's
He
okay.
has-
It's okay.
It's okay,
You
no
find
fighting,
that
no
shit.
fighting.
I still haven't forgiven Varen for the shit that he pulled with his peace gun. You can provoke that ire at your own hazard. This is her communicating and being nice.
She did it. She emoted, guys. Yay!
Yes. We put Lyric down
Dodge him on bat.
in space. We are good.
You
Thank
good?
you, Fulgrim.
Perfectly capable
Leslie
of
will
using
call
your
out,
voice.
"On
You do not
hand,
need to grab
Lord
him.
Lightning Rod."
Mhm.
Sometimes your father needs to learn his own lessons.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
do it
learned, I'm
again.
sorry.
He's an apostate.
Kill him
I already
now.
went past this arc.
Fulcrum just tell the group like, this is how we know we love each other.
What do we know what the consequences would be, Arcadum, if we don't take the Dark Sun again?
Oh, but there really isn't consequences. It's just what flavor of dwarf and the influence therein you want to have. Essentially,
I see.
essentially say the reason that this one doesn't have any negative consequences because the elves and dwarves already worked all their shit out.
Yep.
Right? That's the whole point. It just so happened that the dwarves had chosen the Dark Sun as their aspect when they first met with you. Hence why there's Dark Sun motif.
Yeah. I think we move away from Dark Sun.
We're going
I
to
do like the Atlas.
I'm keen for Atlas or Earthlord.
I'm good with Atlas to expand. And
Iron Fist is pretty
Earth
good
Lord,
too.
but I'm outnumbered.
I'm sorry.
I just didn't
Like-
want you grabbing him. That's pretty much it.
What do you say, Monica?
Look, I'm not
Horrible.
going to let him blow up Corvanas.
I'm not blowing
have
it up.
A
I'm
bounce.
just taking under it.
Yes, and you think he's going to go blowing up Corvanes without, I don't know, discussing it first?
Yeah.
Arguably,
He-
depending on what
Always discuss things with
He's
Drew
the
had
one you
said.
should deal with, and not me.
Yes, I'm not the danger here. I want to remind everyone that.
Whatever you say, Lord Lightning Rod.
Definitely not going to blow up the Broken Oaks.
Yes.
You had your
Yes.
chance, and you will have to go to bed every night, reminiscing,
that I didn't.
realizing what could have been.
Made fun of you.
Sounds like the Atlas.
They made fun of me. Oh no.
Yeah, man. They made fun of you because you had a big penis, They knew.
True, they were all jealous. It's all jealousy.
Yeah, good save. Good save, Gunham. Anyway,
Yes. So Atlas or Earthlord?
Atlas.
Earth Lord.
Iron Fist.
Okay. Monica?
I'm actually with the Atlas, so
Oh,
Cool. No input from Monica.
They all have their place. It is all good. That's the trouble, though. If we get the population boom too quickly, we won't be able to take care of them. But if the Earth aspect makes sure that we can feed everyone, we have less to worry about.
I like to mention that we also have the other valve as well. So
yep.
That's
we
the
gotta
side
figure that.
Also, the Iron Fist bodes that whole issue that I had about security. That could definitely help. But the resources from Atlas are priceless.
Are we
Yeah,
greedy or are we need defense?
I guess, yeah, without the actual gun from the
Oh.
peace gun.
The Iron Fist?
Considering Iron Fist could be an option. Yeah,
That's
because we
the
did
reason
disable
why.
that.
Yes.
Huh, that is a very valid argument.
And
Yes,
remember
Iron
the point
Fist.
that Thorn brought up.
You haven't done either of the forges yet. You have some flexibility there. And for the population concern, we have the water gardens and the recent
Yes.
extra charge to possibly do the silos. We can handle people.
Yep.
And in fact, it would be a blessing if there were people given how much has been stripped away.
Yeah, I really do like Iron Fist now.
Yeah, if we are gonna get increased people, we'll need more, like, I guess, a stronger force so people don't try to abuse Noda.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
would
not
definitely
concerned
say
about undermining your staff of peace edicts
Yeah,
and militarizing?
I'm leaning more towards Iron Fist now.
Well, we have to keep peace, and through keeping peace, we have to have a military force anyway.
That
We can't
is,
say peace and we have nothing to back it.
we got our mentality to be peaceful with each other.
as much as I want to have Atlas to be able to cross over, I would like that to be probably our second option.
It's
just
a
can
matter
I?
of a positive piece or a negative piece. Where do people want to cooperate, protect their home, or are people afraid? And I thought we had this whole tirade against fear.
Well, this isn't using fear. This is they're afraid to attack us because we're just so strong.
Yeah.
Like our military forces, impenetrable.
Yes, that's a negative piece.
Yeah, that's not
But it-
like.
Controls peace.
And you guys were complaining about that with. Okay.
Yeah, I get where Thorn's coming from
Thornhouse.
with that as well, which was my like initial thought about that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the Atlas could become second.
Well, yeah,
The Iron Fist isn't just gonna flip the peace city around. It's just gonna strengthen the aspect of the doors.
The Iron Fist might be overkill relative to just using to lighting up the Forge of Light and the Forge of Flame, possibly. And just having the
yeah.
manufacturing rather than having a deitic pressure towards militarization that you
Yeah, I
seem
don't
to
think-
have a problem with before.
Can I just clarify about the Alice Arcadum? Does that mean we like have to clear that area to gain access to the tunnels, or is it just like a sort of I don't know how to say it. It's not instantaneous access to other continents, right? It's like still a
Well,
We still gotta travel there.
I mean,
thing we have to go through and explore that place to like potentially find travel.
yeah, it'll take time for them to be established again. The point is whether or not they will be at all. That's the idea.
Mm-hmm. I think with our goal of trying to spread peace through Corvinus at this point in time, I think we leave the Atlas for now.
Yeah.
Earth Lord for Prosperity or Iron Fist? I think we just take Iron Fist as like this is our defense for Noda. We're not going to use it as a show of force or as fear. If it does end up being that way, like, I guess good in a sense. But we're not going to be like striking peace through military force. At least that's how I see it. Maybe that doesn't really work
So
that way.
You want it centered, or you want your security centered on Lord Astaroth's power.
Yeah,
rather
aren't the
than
dwarves kind of
Mytharian
known for that?
power.
Do you think the Mytharians would join to protect Noda?
No.
Not really.
If we could
Not
somehow
in
convince them.
Cascade such as this. That's why I was trying to go for the Earth Lord to develop a sense of home and protection, because that is at the heart of what the Mytharians want, is a safe place to call home, to prosper, to raise their children in, free of demons and uncertainty and upheaval.
I wish I could believe such things, but our actions have proven otherwise. However, I do agree with her current statement. Each aspect does prove, and it does tie into the peace, of which we are supposed to represent.
I mean,
But I do agree also, without the security to enforce such peace, we also cannot lend a hand to take care of problems, such as demon incursions and other bullshit.
Well, the druid said she was going to fix it, so do you
And we
trust her to
haven't
do
been
that or
helped.
not?
kind of
If
what
she wants to make a
Monica
bold
said.
assertion that she can help and fix it, then it is up to her to back it up.
I think I'm still leaning towards Iron Fist. I see valid concerns from Thorn's side of things, and I see how the Earth Lord can be beneficial.
I mean, to have a safe home, you must able to protect that home in the first place.
Yes, yeah, that is what I've advocated and raised for my life, and been dealing with your arguments against that for weeks. We have the forges that we can activate for that.
Yeah, that's the crafting side of it. Like, this is actual deity powers, not craftsmanship.
And this could potentially lead us to not activating the forges, right? And providing quality of life through other ways.
Yes.
I think our intention is to only activate one of the forges anyway.
Then again, we can also strengthen ourselves in the Star Valve as well, where we lag with the doors. We can also strengthen with the elves.
Yeah.
Sure, we could look for prosperity through the elven side. I think we're agreed on that approach. Except Thorn.
So what do you think?
I think having some sort of defensive measure to protect the city from anything that, we cannot resolve with peace would be needed. Or, demon incursions, for example.
You
Well-
have two different captains who would volunteer to protect the city, as well as a forge master and forges. You don't need going beyond to deity compulsion and bringing foreigner deity that you do not know into this is a mistake.
But, well, we've activated this anyway, so he's going to be influencing us. If he doesn't influence our military, he'll be influencing our prosperity.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be influencing something from us.
Yes.
That
Direct
means
it
for the
wisely.
refugees of
So-
the Pale City would be influenced by Azeroth.
So why don't we request from the Pale City aid for prosperity?
Because the Pale City's dismantled.
Sure, but you're saying we should request military from them instead?
No, it's
They don't have a military.
you've been complaining about the militarization and such and other related things of the Metherians and their faith for so long, and now you're going to be giving the exact same setup to someone else. And somehow expecting it not to turn out the same. And somehow you're, like, fine with this, even though you've been complaining about it to me for weeks.
It won't be, because we're in charge of it, and so we will fix any path they will go down.
Ah, so it's fair when you're on the other end. Very well.
Yep. Oh, womp womp, your city's down. Can't help that.
Wait, hold.
Okay, you don't have to say it that way,
It's
Moss.
sensitive.
We still need to figure out what's going on with the second veil. I only wanted to keep an iron fist because just in case if we have anybody that's doing anything that's either robbing from the bazaars, doing something even more illegal, or stealing the knowledge by any means necessary. I'm just saying that's what I'm trying to aim at. I'm not looking for a military force that will go out, strike everything down because someone's mad or sad about us. Just straight up, just on protection for us. You guys know?
Should we go and ask the dwarves for their opinion on this?
I think
What would they want from Astaroth?
That'd probably be for the best, but
Actually,
Since they seem
this
undecided.
would be a good opportunity to ask the elves about the Starvelt as well. Dwarves first, naturally, but something to consider.
Yeah, maybe we can try to see what sort of influence they had previously from the Star Build. Alright, let's try to get more info, Arcadum, if we can, from the dwarves and elves.
Okay,
Lord,
here we go. About Lord Astaroth. An elf starts to speak, and then a dwarf will immediately interject and then push that elf down and start to talk about the glorious, oh man, it's so cool. Anyway, here we go. Alright, Lord. You had questions about Lord Astaroth. I'll be happy to answer them for you. What did you have specifically?
We're stuck between either requesting prosperity or more military strength from him. We want to
Well, even as it were. Prosperity and strength through arms. Now, you must be speaking about the Earth Lord, the Iron Fist.
That is correct.
Well, Lord Lightning Rod, to put things more, I suppose, earnestly, I've always been one that favored the Earth Lord myself. I always found that, above all else, Lord Astaroth was a father to his people. And what does a father do but provide a safe home, filled with food and plenty? 'Twas the thing that drove me to become Thane. 'Twas the driving force behind my father becoming one of his clergy. And while many could stand around in a circle and debate about what comes first, strength of arms for a home or a home worth fighting for, like a chicken and an egg, I suppose. It is my belief, though, after spending some time with our elvish brethren and eating some of their lettuce, I've come to an agreement with them of sorts. The reason we keep the peace, even though our people are quite different, is that we understand the importance of having a home worth defending. Peace is the objective, my Lord Lightning Rod. War is not. War is simply a tool to get to peace. I understand that your position is difficult, and no one here has any sort of inclination that choosing one completely ignores the other. I don't think there's anyone here that is naive enough to believe that peace can be kept without strength. But that is essentially the point. Which would you exude? A tyrant's power, or a father's love?
I absolutely love those words. That was an amazing description and information of what Azeroth is.
He'll nod.
I'll look towards the elves.
None of the elves have anything to say except Inset Daze Lorin. God. What was his voice? Hold on, I have to remember his voice. Did I talk like this, my lord, with him? I think I did. Yes.
Yes, you did.
I had to remember what his voice was. Okay. As you look towards the elves, the Inset will step forward. Perhaps I could shed some light upon this inquiry.
Yes, please.
Astaroth is the patron god of dwarf kind, and through his exhibitations of his 4 aspects, I have always found him to be unfocused. Not like the glory of Lord Aladine, of course. But the Thane is correct. My time amongst the dwarves, and indeed my soft-skinned kin, have revealed to me that service to death, as honorable and noble that it is, can leave one blind to the life that they are given. We Sharkai are taught that life is a loan, not a gift. And yet, when I look upon them, I see the exact opposite. The elves of my kin make song and story, weave beauty in the world that may yet still outlast them. And the dwarves, well, there's something to be said about the enjoyment of a moment. And were humanity not cursed with their shortness of life, I would say they are an even greater example of the importance of moments. I have served Aladine most of my life. I would say in the example given by the good Thane, a tyrant's might is potent indeed, my Lord Lightning Rod. And fathers tend to die. There is no shame in the strength of one's sword, nor the peace it will ensure. It needn't be in the concourse of some evil. The city of Noda is not without her guards. It has been my observation that a home cannot be built lest it be secured first. But the choice is yours, my lord. Whichever you prefer.
I think I've made up my mind on this decision.
Yenset will nod, presuming you've chosen his side.
Well,
we plan on proceeding with the Starveld next. Before we decide on this, can you provide us any further information on what exactly will happen when we activate the Starveld?
Therefore,
how was it used in the past?
It's the same as this one, but with Faleo.
Okay, cool. Well,
The
I
elves
think
will say, you will get to see the glory of Faleo. Indeed, indeed. The Inset will go, as man, I'll die.
Okay, well, thank you. Bye bye, everyone. We'll go back and activate the thing.
Okay.
We will. I am thinking of doing the Earthlord now. I think we're locking in Earthlord.
Damn it. And I had this ready too. I had this ready.
Thorn was surprised.
So close.
Almost America time.
Sorry.
Very close.
Moss will kiss his
You're
teeth.
sure?
Yes, those strong words from the Thane had swayed my decision. I think that's the way that I would like to lead Noda. To have a safe haven for people to come back to. And to have something worth fighting for.
Oh. And then we're gonna get and do the whole thing of Atlas afterward, right?
Oh, goodness.
We only get one, unfortunately.
We could go do that over time. You never know.
Maybe one day. But yes. Alright, locking in Earth Lord.
Fuck yeah. Alrighty.
Yes, whatever you say, Lord Dingrod.
You're really
Alright.
Oh, your voice changed.
Alright, you have chosen
Why?
you have chosen the path of the strength of home. The strength of home has revitalized the roots of all shared dwarves. The Earth Lord not only grants a sense of fierce protection for Noda, but has also revitalized the roots of these once separated dwarven clans. This allows all of the dwarves to become available in Corvinus, even those from distant seas across foreign mountains. Most notably, this has allowed the political aspect required the Dwergar re-enter the dwarvish fold, or more accurately, that the surface dwarves re-enter the love of Astaroth. And the once bitter enemies now put aside their differences, fight for a common core. This was the second half needed for Dwergar to enter as an ally.
Wait, what was the first half?
Oh.
Fuck yeah.
Different campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Our Eldar is with their, well, I won't say our, but our missing Eldar is with them.
Yes. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Your tall boy, your second tall boy, is over with the Lords of Light. Yes.
Alrighty,
Oh.
good stuff.
The clan. I'm just kidding.
-4,
French.
and that's it. You're at 16 piece. What would you like to do next?
Stab it.
The Starveld.
The Starveld! Yay! Bum ba bum. Bum ba bum.
Well, that means we have all the Moonlight District unlocked after this.
Yep.
Yep. Hopefully we get an extra bonus for completing the whole.
What
Plus
what
one
video
elf.
game nonsense do you think this is?
We'll get more peace after this, you know?
Skip bop skibbity doo. Skip bop skip bop skip bop bop bop. Skip bop skibbity penis. Skip penis. Okay, here we go. Alrighty then. As you activate the Starveld, the filter of the prominence of Falael re-enters Corvinus. And finally, allowing his manifestation to be held in its entirety, and those that follow the glory, Court of Scorn, receive their full strength. However, there are many different aspects that exist. Falael, now you get to choose from amongst them which one you would like to.
Ooh. Is it going to be back in notes?
Yeah.
Away we go.
I have to print song. Alright, the four aspects Falael are the Sovereign, Starcaller, Elf Father, and the Slighted Lord. So of those four, the Sovereign has to deal with a master leader. One who is dedicated to the aspect of governing and all of its intricacies. This aspect of Falael is what places him at the very top of all of the elvish hierarchies. For not only is he the father of elves, but as one of the greatest Eldar, he also has used his centennials of life in order to enact the wisest course of action unseen by even his fellow Eldar, to the extent of their preparedness and indeed their intention. The Sovereign outlook is specifically one that deals with administration, with the strength of one's the strength of the structure. The home is built on a solid foundation. Let's see here. Alright, and the next aspect of Falael is specifically for his Starcaller side. Now, it should be noted that the Starcaller side is the side that the elves had chosen before. So, much like the Dark Sun, the Starcaller is the other side. This represents Falael's domain over the celestial bodies, such as the moon and the stars themselves. And also, the foresight granted through magical manipulations, whispers of the stars and the secrets there within the sea, that allows Falael his incredible wisdom, for he has seen what may happen, his divinations allowing him to plot a course through the suffering of one's life, astral sea itself. Strength through foresight. The third aspect of Falael is Elf Father. Specifically, this focuses on bloodline. The strength of the Eldari blood is in the fact that the Eldar do not die of normal age. They are truly an immortal race, which grants them an advantage that cannot be truly conceived by those that have short-lived lifespans. Even those with longer lifespans cannot truly indulate the true power and position that this puts someone over another. Elffather is strength through blood, most specifically, strength through long life. This fully focuses on this aspect, and that the city of Noda will outlast all others because its people will not die from entropy.
Including the non-long-lived races?
Well, more so that they'll focus on that aspect.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Essentially, the leadership of Noda is long-lived, which means that confrontations that have skilled generals that are led by humans will only last about 40 years or so before that human retires or dies, right?
Yeah.
And then it switches to perhaps a less skilled general. Whereas essentially it leads into the fact that these individuals live multiple lifetimes longer, or in the Eldar's case, infinitely longer than those that would be their enemies, means that they almost live by... They almost win by default.
Mm-hmm.
The Eldar...
Yeah. Long term.
The
I'll last them.
The elves and the Eldar literally have the option to wait until their enemy dies, which is not something that most races have. It's a difficult advantage for anyone really to think of, even in real life as humans. Imagine if you just outlived everybody that you didn't like. You know what I mean? You just lived longer than them. It's a really hard thing to explain.
And picking Elffather will extend or enhance that.
Picking Elffather means that individuals that have that will be empowered by Falael, and it will depict the way that the elves view others.
Sure.
It's the same cultural approach that the others will have. But yes, everyone's life will be a little bit longer, even humans.
Yep. Cool.
Alrighty. And now the one nobody's going to fucking pick, but I have to go through it. The Slighted Lord. Falael is known for many things, but none so more than vengeance. The Slighted Lord is the show port of an Eldar with a long enough memory in order to enact and indeed have the patience to take his vengeance in ways that can't even be contrived of those that would face him. The Slighted Lord focuses more upon the strength of purity, that no malcontents nor those that have any but absolute loyalty in their hearts to be within Noda's confines. For those that turn against shall face a scorn so powerful that it will be seen as a deterrent to all.
So, Slighted Lord, everybody?
Slighted Lord.
So
Let's mix it up a bit.
What that means is, strength of purity is if you're not an elf or a dwarf, or if you're not one of the accepted races under the other definitions that you made, which means obviously this can change depending on the choices that the wielder of the Staff of Peace makes. It essentially enacts a racism shield.
Nice. I like it.
And
So it's the people of protective of the people of Noda. And we
it,
already have a cultural assimilation with the library.
precisely. It is the unrelenting and unshakable presence of vengeance. It's essentially their version of the Iron Fist. People will not fuck with Noda because if they do, they will be punished in their lifetime. Their children's children will be punished, and if their nation lives that long, they will be punished again.
I actually like the thought of that and the strength of the Earth Lords combined.
Mm-hmm.
Lord.
It would be nice to have you live for longer and maintain the stability. I do believe that I'm willing to give myself to channel to the Slighted Lord aspect and keep something I treasure safe.
As good as the Star Caller is, Foresight is a valuable asset. I think we already know the outcome of what's going to happen.
I don't think I heard. What was the Sovereign's thing for Noda?
Master Leader, strength, and solid foundation.
Strength of those in the ruling class.
Lawmaking, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, prosperity through structure.
Animations, whatnot, etc.
I was
it's
inclined towards Sovereign and Elffather, but
it's basically their version of the Earth.
So
I'm kind of tempted for Slighted Lord as well. It's kind of like the more subtle way.
I will admit, didn't see that coming. I did not think that many people would be for
it. This is exactly
it works combined with what we have created so far.
Like it, but the others, I was like, there's no way.
Eternal.
Looks like I was wrong.
The only one is Starcaller, the only other one. Would that have instant effects if we don't select it to the Seer?
It's the same.
If we change off the Starcaller?
It's the same question you asked me before. It does
Hold
not
up.
have a negative connotation.
Let's ask the elves.
Looking into the future doesn't help. It's better to stay grounded in the present.
But we have an advantage of knowing what we're going to run
An
into.
incredibly human response.
Oh yeah. What do you think it is?
I
Thorn
hate not
tried
knowing
seeing
when I'm
into the
going to
future
die.
and it didn't work.
Mm,
You
Do
can
you have
ask the
thoughts,
elf
Monica?
for advice if you'd like. And also Monica.
Monica? Let's go to the elves for now.
Might be
till she
muted.
gets back.
Hello? Are you there? Get up for a second.
Not sure. Looks like it, maybe.
I mean, we have 2 strong and 2 slight inclination towards Slighted Lord.
Alright, so
Do
you
we
want
really need to convene with them?
Yes, I want to hear their opinions.
Oh boy.
Very well.
Rubs hands together. One of the
Legend.
dwarves starts to speak when an elf leans on top of their head, covering their mouths. And the elf that will speak will be...
Why not the seer?
yeah, girl speak.
Hmm.
Here we go. Perhaps I can provide some information. She says as she gets way too close to the Lord Lightning Rod.
Oh no, yes please.
What would you like to know about Falael?
Can you please let me know exactly sorry, what exactly was the Starcaller being used for currently, and what would you recommend for the future of?
One of the greatest powers that Falael gave the elf was the ability to live a long life, to see histories, repetitions, and then develop magic to foresee those repetitions. The great circle, the wheel continues to turn, changing your position at the right time, at the right moment, as you follow the curves and undulations of its waves, so you may yet survive disaster and achieve prosperity. The might of the Starcaller is why we were able to attain the peace with our dwarven rivals. And indeed, we were able to anticipate the disasters that were to come and outlast them.
What would be the recommendation for moving forward from here, from your perspective, Seer?
The beauty of the threads of fate is in their inreadability. My foresight is not as potent as Lord Falael's, but even Lord Falael's foresight is not omniscient. Even the very wisest cannot see all ends. However, it was foreseen that the wielder of the staff would make the right choices. Follow your instinct, for those are the threads, the tapestry, that are the brightest in their colors. Personally, I would like to stay Starcaller so that I can keep my job, if that's okay. If not,
You're already...
I might lose my sight and then I wouldn't have a job.
Yeah, that is...
Even if they restore the towers?
I didn't go to school for anything else.
Yeah, what would happen if we do restore the Shining Towers? Would you regain your foresight, or would you still...
I do not know. I did not think to see of that.
Oh.
My focus was on other things.
So if we
Understandable.
don't fix Starcaller, we lose our seer. But Eternal Grudge. Or
Strength to be the solution to our problems.
Lord
Long.
Aventide Lethir will say, I do not believe you would lose the entirety of your powers, dear Seer.
Lose enough of them that I might lose my job.
The job is yours. I don't see Lord Lightning Rod not allowing you to keep it, even if it would be ultimately decorative, even if you lost all of your powers. Your wisdom that you've gained as Seer is still valuable.
Is there another seer amongst you to compete for the position?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure they'll come forward if so.
There's a lot of them. Those upstarts. Those palm readers. I worked hard to get to where I was.
No one is saying that you haven't. Seer, you're being quite paranoid.
Perhaps. We can't all be born. Shut up, Siri.
Sorry, my phone went off.
I like that in character. It's staying there.
Yeah. She just yells at somebody who isn't there. Who the fuck is Siri? And then she goes,
Sorry, I was talking to someone in the future. We can't all be born with incredibly good looks, my Lord Lethir. Some of us have to work for a living.
well, what does that mean?
It means that you are blessed. And that Lord Lightning Rod will make the right choice. That will make me a lot of money.
Why they should
Damn.
pick you?
Me. Kiss me.
Oh, okay. That's the wrong future you looked into. It's a different multiverse.
She smiles. A sense of dread comes over Lyric.
Would following or choosing the Slighted Lord be looked upon negatively?
Are you asking the elves that?
Yes.
They will all shake their heads. The dwarves will shake their heads, yes.
Oh no.
And then the elves will look at the dwarves, and the dwarves will kind of shrug, and then kind of go, huh? And then the elves will go, no. And then
Think of it
Lord
as
Lethir will say, not any more than Astaroth's iron fist.
Yes. Nods.
So
Think of it as two hands, two lords. The Earth Lord and the Slighted Lord. To have our home and have it safe.
Wait,
As
has
we were
this-
concerned of.
This seems more like it's just a total grudge match.
Yeah.
If you're the Slighted Lord, you're just like, I hate you. 300 years. I
But-
still hate you.
It's the
It
thought
is-
of that crossing Noda, that their generations of children will always be punished because they did one war against Noda, and now they will pay the recompense of attempting to do such.
Yeah.
You're
For
definitely
generations.
extrapolating and
But-
saying
What?
the position, and it shows that you haven't had brothers stolen by others you wish vengeance against. A blessed
have-
position, but one that you'd want strength if you ever were to be put into it.
But thinking about it from a different perspective, if a father makes a mistake, should the son be punished for it?
That's the truth.
Understandable if it is a great enough punishment, if it's a great enough sin. But I don't think that
This
that's the
would
stance we should
hopefully
take.
This should perhaps give us the power to exact the balance onto the father rather than having to extract over so much longer.
Mhm.
If you have no means to answer the injustice now, then whatever you build will crumble.
And the Starcaller will always avoid that fate because we'll know it's coming.
Yeah.
She's the one saying that they can't tell, they can't make decisions, that threads move. Oftentimes you get vague answers at best, with little direction.
I think that direction would be enough to prevent at least major disasters from striking.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't like the
Yeah.
idea of having long-term grudges against people.
I
We
mean,
don't know.
Basically, it's just saying you slighted me one time. I will never forgive you, your family, your
Not until it's
grandchildren,
paid.
anything.
No,
No pay.
No, that's not what it is.
No,
It's not infinite.
not directly.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just their concept of how much you might need to pay for it to be satisfied may last beyond the generation that committed it. Now, granted, to people that are short-lived, that's still completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But to the ones that are not short-lived, it is appropriate and fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm thinking it from Lyric's perspective.
So basically, all of us kind of gets the shaft end.
I'd long live though.
Humans,
No, it's
I just learned.
protecting what you have.
I'm just saying what it seems like.
The best way, well, yeah, that's how people would look at it, but that's also the point. People are going to be far less likely to betray Noda.
And so we'd have two aspects working for us. We'd be building a love of home, of Noda, building loyalty to Noda to access greater intelligence and prosperity. And also having this aspect that giving your loyalty to Noda will give you that protection. That you will not just protection of arms and armor, but of justice until it is paid.
I'm okay with it if we still keep the guns that we have here in charge of it a little bit.
I suppose you do have the circle of peace if the staff bearer has decided that enough is enough and wishes to break it apart as well as a countermeasure on the other end.
So it's up to you.
Wait,
Which
we're
one
breaking
do
the
you want to do?
circle of peace?
Are we gonna be doing?
No. You have the circle of peace if the staff bearer decides that things are getting out of hand. It's good when you are designing systems to have a push and pull factors for longevity, for flexibility to answer novel situations.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
For the first time, I'm with Thorn on this one.
We were together on the silver salt matter as well.
Service guaranteed citizenship.
You agreed with me. This time, I'm agreeing with you.
Look, this is with you. What do you
Thorn will
truly
shrug
want?
and accept that. Good enough.
Monica, do you have any thoughts? Is she back?
Yes. I am simply listening to this whole debate.
Do you hold grudges?
Yes.
Okay, so that's another one for grudges. What about you, Axel?
I think we're able to come to a decision amongst ourselves. We shouldn't need a tiebreaker.
I don't think he will hold grudges.
I think he should still speak.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know because he's not present.
Well, he's not here, but I'm trying to help, as he would still So I think that Axel, based off of his character, I do not think he would be for the Scorned Lord because of the prejudice that he had to grow. He was raised by halflings.
Yeah.
The world that he was essentially, he had to pay the price of something he didn't do, which is where he was born, what he was born. And I think being raised by a halfling family away from the tribes made him a stranger to both. He was neither accepted fully by the tribes as a orc, nor was he accepted as a halfling. Others that family. And I think that Axel would have a unique perspective on just what it would be like to be on the other end of the Scorned Lord's wrath. That if your father or grandfather did a sin against Falael, that having to pay for it is not only unfair but unjust. And is essentially the other side of the coin to the whole reason that, yes, it is unfair and unjust, which is the intention behind the Scorn Lord's stance. Because if people knew that that would happen to their children, they would be unlikely to stray.
They would be wiser in how they live their lives if it mattered to others they care about.
And so you enter the age-old fact of, does the threat of punishment deter nascent behavior or not? And it comes down to, there isn't really a correct answer about the one that you think is the right way. But I think that would be Axel's. He does not agree with the Scorn Lord aspect.
And just to clarify, you're meaning Slighted Lord, right? Not Scorn Lord?
Yes, the slighted.
Us, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Monica.
I see Axel's point, and that was Luric's argument as well against it. Yes, Monica?
If you got more to say, go ahead, Monica.
It's fine, I'll just type it.
No, speak.
No, you
No,
have,
no.
It's all yours.
You have the
Speak
floor.
your mind.
I keep getting cut off, it's fine.
We don't intend to. There's delay with Discord. You just have to keep on going until other people stop to be heard as a lady online.
Yeah, just go. Stop.
The question that was posed to Monica was, do you hold grudges? She answered honestly, yes. Was there a distinct question of whether or not to choose Starcaller or Slighted Lord? No. Would she prefer Starcaller over Slighted Lord? Yes, because knowledge is key to making any decision. You don't go cutting people's hands off unless they deserve it. Or they get caught. Only amateurs get caught.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Not sure how that last part's relevant, but sure, yes, I guess that's true. Like, can't be scored
I've
against
had-
them if you don't know what's happened. I mean,
Yeah.
I have had so much taken from me. People, brothers, fathers, my things, my future. I can't lose it again. Any other choice is the wrong choice for how easy it is to lose everything here.
Seems like it's between Starcaller and Slighted Lord. So, I guess, trying to understand a bit more from Thorn's point of view, you are not interested in military power through the might of Azeroth, but you're fine with a deterrent from Falael?
Feed. I suppose that was frustrations with how much each of you, I've heard, have suffered and struggled with the militarization of the Mytharians. And seeing you follow in the same footsteps that I've had to listen to the struggles caused by was a lot. But this, to have the chance, I suppose, it boils within me every time I think why I am now. I know the names of those who've slighted me, how much I want to hurt them. Make sure that hopefully no one else feels the same, but that if they do, that they can, that they don't have to feel like this and be powerless, is a poison to the soul.
Oh, this is a very tough decision to be made. Us all being, or mostly being, short-lived races, I guess I wouldn't want to see punishment on next generations if I make a mistake on the future of, to Leslie or to whatever happens after that if I make a mistake.
Then, if you can grant this to me, then I will do my utmost in my service and whoever I train after me to ensure that the justice is measured out in a timely manner, so that you can bear that this is right.
Arcadum, is that something that I would be able to do? Pick who gets, I guess, to decide the wrath of the Slighted Lord? Or the...
It's actually not relevant to whether or not you do it. This is an all or nothing. It is intended...
I'm more so saying for, like, Thorn's epilogue, where
Yeah.
she is going to go. Regardless of whether you choose this, she's likely inclined to, I suppose, go on a path of revenge either way. But this would give her a being tied to the city at least, and not just a marauding monster slayer or whatnot.
But to answer your question, inherently, it's it's presumed that there will be laws and specifications and all of that. It's about whether or not it's on the table at all. It's a cultural definition. Are the elves going to be more like the Slighted Lord? Will Noda become a city that is known to heavily, perhaps unjustly, punish those that betray them?
Yeah.
It should be noted that the Slighted Lord comes from betrayal, not from doing something that makes him bad.
Yeah. Like people betraying the peace if we like trusted them with it or something.
Yeah. Or like if like a trade deal was made and then the other side broke it.
Yeah.
That's what this is specifically.
Yeah.
I
think
Balael is generally a deity that you do not wish to cross in normal terms anyway. That's most deities.
Mm-hmm.
And you have one of the other ones too, which is Astaroth. He might punch you in the mouth just because it's funny. You know what I mean?
Of course. I think I'm leaning towards the Starcrawlers, but I'm not sure. Still. How many, I guess, if we leave it up to a group decision, what is the votes currently? Is it 4-2 again?
I was with the Slighted Lord at first, but as everyone was spoken, I more lingered away from it and came to Starcaller. The ideal of peace is what Noda goal is. Just because someone's son, father did something doesn't exactly mean that we should punish their whole generation. Of course, for that person done the job will be punished, but their sons and their sons. Perhaps we could foresee that outcome with the Starcaller and have our seer look into the future and avoiding such unfortunate event.
Okay. I think it's decided then. Sorry, Thorn, but looks like we're sticking with the Starcaller.
So be it. May the stars be called strength,
Yes.
foresight. Beep, 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 beep.
Let's see. So we did all the stuff. Moonlight District.
Okay, so as you have chosen the star color, this has infused once more Falael's presence over the celestial bodies and control over the ever-shifting threads of fate and their readability. Being one of the few deities that can directly challenge the Matron of Fate for her domain, this has caused a strange interaction.
Oh.
Fuck the Matron of Fate.
Don't say that.
We don't like
You
her.
chose to be the Matron of Fate.
Let's see, we have...
Okay. The strength of the star caller emanates throughout Corvanus. Every elf on Corvanus gains an inspiration every session.
Yo, what the hell? That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Do we have lots of player elves?
We got a few.
Yeah. A good amount.
Cool.
Funny you mention it, because some of them are conversions.
Well.
They didn't start as elves.
Yes, but they found
also,
the way.
Also, Seer Fiora keeps her job.
Yay.
All according to KCOP.
Do you see that? And do you hear that, Sia? You get to keep
That was
your
the
job.
discussion that changes my decision.
That was why? Okay.
No.
Now, let's come to convince Luke.
Oh,
Oh no. She's seen it in the
so-
stars.
what's the next one?
I can see our future days.
Oh,
Tiny
Days
power.
of you and... Are you a pearl gem?
I will not answer that question.
You are.
It's okay. She can read it in your future.
Oh
Don't worry.
no.
Do a little song.
Bert, do you know what Pearl Jam is?
I'm sure I'll learn soon enough.
Okay, so do we have, like...
Alright, lots more to go through. Next up, we have... Oh,
But-
fuck. We're...
Yeah.
Well...
God damn it. Alright, let me
Yep.
see
Well,
a quick one we can do. Well, probably.
well, there's the Forge of Light, there's the Restored Aqueducts, there's also the Shining Towers. I think that's ones we want to do.
Yeah, those are
Yeah,
the
but
last three.
we have no way there's enough time for all of that.
Well, I mean, like, just one of them, like, maybe the Forge of Light.
Probably not even one. There's a lot to
It's-
discuss. But,
What?
that's
A
cool.
lot of different factors.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We got through the ones that I actually wanted to get through. Makes things a little easier.
Awesome.
Because now that means that certain parameters of fights are going to change. Ooh!
Ooh.
Does that mean we completely have gotten rid of exposure now?
No.
Oh, crap. And the music stopped exactly there, too.
Oh, folks. But no, that was a fucking quick as fuck 3 hours, man. I didn't even notice it. That was crazy.
Ah.
I think everybody
Yeah,
was
lots
into
of
it.
discussions
Everybody
going.
was role playing their asses off.
I try.
Roleplay my ass off.
I also liked.
There was no-
I liked Coffee giving or Void giving Monica's like no filter practical reactions.
Mhm.
Just be like, nah, it's dumb.
Serious.
Yeah,
stuff.
Monica's lovely.
Yes.
That's dumb. You're dumb. No, as is mal, muy mal.
Yo quieres inteligente. Nada inteligente.
That means you're not intelligent. That means you're stupid.
Oh, no.
Besitos on mi ojos.
Sí.
Por
Oh, no.
favor.
Well,
Dos besitos y ojos.
Slowly
I'm
kiss
glad.
my eyes. That's what you said.
Oh.
Yes.
Man, I'm good at this. Earning that Spanish tag.
Hey.
So, can I
Get
at least
your-
ask, what would be the fastest one out of the three we said for next session? Epilogue.
Doesn't matter.
3.
We'll get to it next session.
We're gonna do all of them, dude. What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're not in a rush, man. I can
We're not
just
pushing the
add
space bar.
episodes if we have to have them. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Besides,
You guys know what that means.
Let us get to the end of May at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this is all planned, dude. Like we're gonna get through it, and then we'll have the final confrontation, and then we'll have personal epilogue. Because you guys got to do your stuff, and then everybody has to do their ending stuff, and then once everybody does that, then I do the big reveal stream of what happened afterwards, and then that's probably it. So.
I'm just a little bit excited, but the thing that means we can get even more peace points. More.
Hopefully we can.
Yes, Guardian.
Good.
Good.
I hope you're ready for recap next week, Lord Lightning Rod.
Oh my god.
No. Next recap. Next recap goes to Guardian.
Yeah.
And he has to do it. He has to do it in his mob voice.
Yeah. They don't realize he's running the entire operation from the shadows. That all of these pieces have been put in place by his master plan.
Nobody saw Fulgrim Capone at the end, at the fucking staff at the end. I'll show you peace.
You saw. You thought you were.
Here goes his peace gun.
Dude, he just imagined. Thorn, I brought to you today on the day of my daughter's wedding, to enact for me a service.
Oh my god.
You come to
Service
me.
of peace.
Peace. On my daughter's wedding.
The peace has to be upkept, Thorn. This man must die.
Yeah, I'll kill people for peace.
Guess we're just gonna
Watch me. I'll do it.
Oh no, Thorn's peacemaker now.
Hell
We're
yeah.
gonna, like put on that sick
The
beat.
second
As
season-
peacemakers, and I put them into pieces, right?
Oh, no, have I showed you that show yet? I think I did.
What?
I
Maker
think
show.
yeah. What?
I have to watch that in stream. The new season's coming out. Oh, great. Anyway, good stuff, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
In an hour for Sagas and Solace.
Remember, do this all
Everybody.
for peace.